two topics, and it's been published in English in little by little. Okay, this is it for the Spanish initiatives, and now we will look at some Latin American initiatives that we are helping. This is the situation about a year and a half ago. So it's not the latest, but still quite recent. This is a talk that I gave at a conference in Peru about the geopark network in Latin America and some initiatives that are going on for the geoconservation in Latin America. Okay, so there is this network that is being developed in Latin America, just people that are working together in the same issues. And this map shows the situation in this at the beginning of 2011. The geoparks that have been already, there was only one UNESCO geopark, now there's another one, there's two in Latin America. At that time there was only one, but there was many proposals, many projects being developed in Argentina, Venezuela, Chile, Peru, Uruguay. Many projects to mostly all of them oriented towards the promotion of geotourism and the local socioeconomic development, which is the object of geoparks, together with the conservation of geoheritage. Okay. These are some views of the geopark in Brazil. This is already a UNESCO geopark. We set up panels explaining the geology. This one is based mostly on the existence of this fossil wood, that this is silicified. So you can see many fragments that are used in some of the houses and all over in the ground. And then in this other area that is developed with itineraries that see very nice landscapes and geology, also for another geopark that in the future hopefully will be approved. In Argentina, there's these two projects. This one is based on Mesozoic Jurassic ammonites that are found throughout the area. Some of them really large, several meters, very big specimens in the field, on site, and also in museums. And this other geopark is mostly based on the existence of this geoheritage, which is the human footsteps in Pleistocene rocks, and also from other animals, footsteps, vertebrates, large vertebrates. This is a geopark that is being proposed in Venezuela. In Chile, we have this Conguillo National Park, which has volcanoes, which have very interesting sections with the record of all the volcanic eruptions, nice landscapes, beautiful volcanoes developed there. This Lonky Mine, another natural reserve. Sometimes in this case it's already protected areas that want to be proposed as geoparks. And they have panels already developing the interpretation of the geological elements. In Peru, there's several publications that show what has been done in areas that they call national geoparks, and that develop itineraries or geo-routes, they call it, geo-routes or geotouristic guides. And even if they call geoparks, they are not officially recognized by UNESCO, but they call them geoparks or national geoparks. And they develop the geotourism in different areas. And you can see they are also very recent initiatives, 2009, 2010, and 11. Looking at different features along the coast or in volcanic and granitic units. So this is also in Peru. In other areas, you have small volcanoes, beautiful landscapes, caves, like in Jeju with volcanic rocks, karstic caves, spectacular landscapes, and also incorporating the archaeological elements that are using these geological elements. And the relationship between, because there's a lot of archaeological remains, historical remains, human cultural elements that are using some of these geological elements, and that can also be incorporated into the itineraries, into the geotourism. For example, this part is a sanctuary, a national sanctuary for religious purposes, but that has also been declared geopark because of the interest of these specific landscapes and shapes and rocks that for thousands of years have been occupied by humans and considered sacred. This is a very important issue in Peru with the indigenous population, the geoheritage in relation to sacred and archaeological sites. Okay? For example, the well-known Machu Picchu, but there's many other areas where there's many geological studies being done, and in some cases to help archaeologists. Some places have not particularly interesting geology. This is very simple geology, for example, in Machu Picchu, simple granite, but it is the basis for a big archaeological site. So understanding the granite, its composition, its weathering, and its structure, then it helps the management of the archaeological site. Or for example, this is not a particular site, but they are developing a project along the Inca Trail, along the Andes from Colombia, along Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, and Chile, and Argentina. You have Inca trails, and some of them are in Peru. This 120-kilometer interval, because this trail goes for thousands of kilometers, but there's a small interval that is being studied, the relationship between the geological elements and the archaeological element, which is the paved rock road, and how to preserve it and the management in relation also with the geology and archaeology. This is in Peru. In Costa Rica, there's also some other sites that are being developed for geotourism that may be proposed for the as geoparks. That's so very nice structures, volcanic lava, pillow lavas, nice landforms along the coast of this area, and so this is also being proposed for geopark. And there has been recently, since 2008, you can see this first Andean encounter, first Latin American Congress of Geotourism, first International Workshop on Geological Mining Heritage. So these first events are taking place 2008, 2009, 2010. So it's already beginning very recently. Hopefully, or probably, I don't know, in Asia there will be similar things happening, or are already happening, maybe I don't know. But they have made this network, this network of Latin American and Caribbean conservation and defense of the geological and mining and paleontological heritage. So there's a strong movement. This was set up in 2009 at this Latin American conference, and there's many going on every year. You can see 2010 there were several of them, 2011 there was 2 or 3 of them, and so on. So there's a strong movement in Latin America towards this geoconservation. This is an example of what took place in late 2010. A brief analysis of what was going on in Latin America 2 years ago. There's many and increasing initiatives, proposals of geoparks. Some of them, as I mentioned, these ones in Peru, they declare a national geopark, even if it's not accepted by the Global Geopark Network, because the Global Geopark Network requires specific, strict criteria. But some countries decided, okay, we don't comply with those criteria to be approved, but we want to call it a geopark. And that has happened in Peru, and in Spain also we have geoparks that are not approved by the network, but we consider them geopark. A lot of site museums are being done, and interpretive centers, guided and self-guided itineraries, many publications, but, so this is the good things. Some bad things, there is a need for more coordination of efforts, but it is happening because of all these congresses and networks that are taking place. There is a need for more national inventories. This is basic because if you don't know what you have, then you can have problems with the management or analyze the vulnerability of the sites and so on. There's a need of more earth scientists in administration, planning, protection, and management. This is a common problem in many countries. I'm sure you will have the same problem in India or Bangladesh as what happens here. And the need for proper legislation. Some of these Latin American countries, and happens in many other parts of the world, there is no proper legislation to protect this particular part of natural heritage and of natural diversity. And it's difficult to convince politicians. Or sometimes there is legislation, but it is not really enforced. And in 2010, in this journal, Geoheritage, there was an article, very good article, by Brazilian authors, who are also a Portuguese. The leader of the Portuguese geoconservation movement is José Brilla, and he is working also in Brazil because of the cultural and language connections with Brazil, and so they have managed to start this strategy for the inventory of geoheritage in large areas. In this case, it is Latin America, but I think it would also be applied for Africa. It could also be applied for Asia. In large areas, large countries, so it is interesting for you in India. If you can promote this in India, would be good. So, well, I'm not going to go through all the details, but if you're interested, this article is, I'm not sure if it is included in the documentation, but I can give you, in the presentation, you have the reference and the development of this strategy. It's just set work groups, references, the geological framework similar to the Geosites project of UNESCO. Identify the geosites for the frameworks, then describe, characterize, and value the geosites, and set the list of management plans. It's very much similar to the Geosites project that is applied, was applied in Europe, but with more specific steps, methodology, very detailed. So this is the development of this methodology, themes, values, use, and then the work groups, which ones they should be, what they should do. So for any country that wants to try to apply this, just so you know that there is already experiences that can be applied in big countries, that you will think, oh, it's impossible to do an inventory here because this is a very large country, it will take very many years and so on. But it can be done, and it is being done, and it has been done already. Also in Korea. So this is like in vast territories, in big areas, it is impossible to do a very detailed systematic fieldwork. So the proposal of ProGeo, which was this Geosites project that UNESCO adopted, has demonstrated to be the most efficient to organize the information of a territory and to facilitate the identification of these geoheritage, the geosites that are representative of each of the frameworks. And when this is done, then we can have proper management plans and take care of things properly. Okay. I don't know what is the next one. So this is the global geosites. This is just a few slides with the details I was mentioning before. Applied in Latin America, the Geosites project was initiated by the IUGS, the Global Geosites Working Group, which is part of the IUGS, and then it was supported by UNESCO. At some point there was lack of funds and they decided to drop it, but still the objective was needed. So we are asking in this resolution here in IUCN to support the readoption by IUCN as a new supporter, and then to promote it in UNESCO. This requires a systematic methodology that I have just explained. You will see it again here. Selection of frameworks, and then of international relevance. Not any element, but just those of international relevance. In Spain, as I mentioned before, this was begun in 1999, following this methodology of ProGeo. We followed the definition of 18 frameworks, and then it was analyzed by many professional and working group, and the final list of 20 geological frameworks was finally adopted. I mentioned this before. Now there was selection of 144 geosites representing the 20 frameworks, and now this has been expanded recently. I showed you 2011 to 240 such sites. And this can be done in this country. And this is a distribution of the different categories of these geosites. Most of them are paleontologic and stratigraphic and geomorphologic, but there's others. Minerals, geochemistry, tectonic rocks, so we try to represent all the stratigraphic record, and only some parts, small parts are not of the geological record are not represented in these geological frameworks. And this is an idea to try to represent the most part of all the geological records until the beginning of the Earth history. This is the distribution of the geosites, so you can see it's almost everywhere, but some areas have higher concentration. Well, now we'll show some examples of these frameworks. For example, the number one has 4 geosites and represents the Appalachian landscapes. Number 2 is the low coasts. This is the Ebro Delta system here, but there's some parts. The karst systems in evaporites and carbonates, it's found in many places. The geosites, but the geological framework is all over. So some carboniferous of the Cantabrian Mountains, very particular units and fossils and evolution in the Cantabrian Mountains. This site I already showed you, the Mesozoic series in the Iberian chain. This site is here. There's many others. The fossils and ichnofossils of the Cretaceous. Here's an example of the dinosaur footprints. Just in China, there's a lot of these. The Cretaceous Paleogene boundary. This is the big impact of the Cretaceous tertiary boundary. There's 3 places where you can see very nice. This area is the Flix area in northern Spain. This is going to be a documentary that we will show. It's with English. Well, it's in original language. There's some. So when English scientists speak, it's in English, and when it's not English scientists, then it's subtitled. This will be shown, if you can take note, this documentary will be shown on the 12th is Wednesday, no?
Yeah.
On Wednesday at 7:30 in the evening. Wednesday 12th, 7:30 in the evening, room 104. It's a social event. It's a film documentary. It lasts almost 1 hour. Which room? Room 104, 104. Social event organized during the Congress. So the Wednesday 12th in the evening. So it will be, the documentary talks about this record and how it deals about climate changes, how it's recorded, changes in life, extinctions, and so on, and how it must be preserved, and how it this record, what information we can get from it. femurs is in the Pyrenees, some interesting, but of course, in the other areas like in the Alps or the Himalayas or the Andes, there's much better exposures and much better things that you can see that in the Pyrenees. So once we compare with other inventories of this geosite project in other countries, then we will have to decide which countries have the best outcrops and geosites. But first, we need the inventory to be done. This is tertiary basins, especially because of the paleontological zoning that has been done. That is a reference for all the Mediterranean here. Some big units, Pavistostromes. This is related with the development of orogens of mountains. Probably in the Himalayas and the Andes, I have seen much better things than there in southern Spain. This is a particular event. This is very interesting because here it represents, these evaporites represent the period when the Mediterranean dried up. There was a period in the Tertiary when all the Mediterranean